So I'm so excited to make today's video because I'm actually in the Palazzo Benzon, which was the former home of Marina Querini Benzon. And she lived here in this palace. This is where she had her literary salon. This was her view out the window. I took a number of photos that I will post also to show where she brought her gondola, where she entered her palace, the garden, the balcony, all of these things. So it's very exciting for me that I can be here, and it's because there is an exhibition right now called Woven Hands, and so they kindly allowed me to come in and film for today's video. But let me tell you a little bit about her life. She was a noblewoman from a long family line of nobility here in Venice, and she was friends with many important people. The one probably most people know is Lord Byron. In fact, Lord Byron met a woman here, Teresa Guiccioli, who was his mistress for a while. And that's quite a torrid love affair, story for another time, because they met at the salon of Marina Querini Benzon. But of course, that's Lord Byron's story. Marina was good friends with Byron for a long time. She was quite a bit older than him. There was some gossip that maybe they had a relationship. It's really unclear exactly what happened with them. But there was another important relationship for her. See, she had an arranged marriage like most women of her rank did. But she later had a very long affair with a man she called her Beppi. And she and Beppi, he was sort of her, what they called a cavalier servente, cicisbeo, so someone who would escort her to events. And this was very common in Venice, that with arranged marriages, women didn't always go to all events with their husband. They often had the cicisbeo who would escort them instead. So her cicisbeo was Beppi, and they were together for many, many years, and then finally married when they were quite a bit older. And we actually have some of her letters to Beppi, and the love just sort of comes off the page between them. She also was quite free in her expression of herself. So in 1797, when Napoleon came into Venice and the Venetian Republic disbanded at that time, the new government put up a Tree of Liberty in the Piazza San Marco. Well, the story goes that Marina was there and that she danced around the tree and was quite free with her expression. And then she held her literary salon here, invited all sorts of people, and it was, at the time of the fall of the Republic, so the way the story goes is that maybe the refreshments weren't as fresh as they could have been because times were kind of tough, and of course the Venetian state had fallen apart. But there are a couple of stories from her later life that I especially love. She was later widowed, and she would take gondola rides around the city all the time. Almost every day I think she was going in her gondola all up and down the canals to visit friends. And the gondoliers had a name for her. They called her the Steaming Lady. And this is because, I guess in her later years she had become a bit plump. She would take hot polenta and hide it in her bosom. And the steam would come off of it. And when she was hungry, she would take it out and nibble a little polenta and then continue in the gondola. So I think she was much beloved here in the city, and by gondoliers, by her friends, by just about everyone. So this is her palazzo, and I will post photos as well so you can see other parts of it. And that's a little bit about Marina Querini Benzon.